Aloha, my name is Ben Kaneaiakala here at Phoenix Rising Addiction Center, and we are on step 2, part 11, and our final part of this series on step 2. In I came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. And thank you again for following us and for just watching and being open. And I hope that this has been really helpful. And we just have one more paragraph to go in the 12 and 12 on step 2. But there's in the last few episodes and just realizing how blinded we are by our own obsessive repetitive thoughts and thinking that goes on in our head, and how it's and how we need to open the channel. We need to open the pathway to this higher power, and we gotta be willing to do that. To be able to be open to something else. Because whatever I've gotten myself into isn't working anymore. And I'm reaching out for help, and I'm going to 12 step, or I'm going to therapy, or a combination of them all. You know what I mean? And that's a part of my sobriety, is that I'm involved in all of it. I'm involved in 12 step, in meetings, and sponsoring, having a sponsor, working with a sponsor, working the steps, prayer, meditation, going to therapy. Like, all those resources are all still there. It doesn't time or sobriety time doesn't mean that we're exempt from the insanities of what's between my two ears and what's in the world. Just because I'm clean and sober, or I've been practicing this, it doesn't mean that my past or future or time doesn't continue coming into my head and doesn't continue influencing situations today, because it does. And I need to make sure that I am present every day, all day, so that I don't get consumed and overtaken by all these things. you know and so we are on the last paragraph. We're on page 32, 33, last two paragraphs of step 2. So few indeed are the practicing people who have any idea how irrational, or the alcoholic, drug addict, or whatever addiction that you might be, or the addiction of the thinking, as I like to say. So few indeed are the practicing overthinkers or addicted to thinking who have any idea how irrational they are, or seeing their irrationality can bear to face it. It is not an easy thing to face, knowing that we go into some old values and beliefs about I failed, I'm not good enough, this and that. Those types of things aren't easy to face. The ego hangs on to that stuff and uses that stuff to keep us stuck, to keep us in pain and suffering and in misery. Some will be willing to term themselves problem thinkers or addictive thinkers, but cannot endure the suggestion that they are in fact mentally ill. They are embedded in this blindness by a world which does not understand the difference between sane thinking and insane thinking. Sanity is defined as soundness of mind. And soundness of mind isn't found in the past and isn't found in the future. Its true definition of soundness of mind is only found in the now, is only found in the present moment. That's where true sanity lives. So when we're looking to be restored to sanity, we're looking to be restored to this place of soundness of mind in the present moment. And if we are in thinking of the past, or we're thinking of the future, that's pain and suffering. Thinking equals pain and suffering. So as long as we're in this compulsive, obsessive thinking, the addiction of thinking, as long as we're controlled by it, we're slaves to it. We're not in control of our thinking. If you think that you're in control of your thinking, you're believing a lie, because we're not. It is not who we are. We are identified with our thinking. Our thinking is who we think we are, and that's not who we are. And as long as we're hanging on to that, and we don't get into the present moment, we'll be continue to be controlled by the past or by the future. And that's where all of our anxiety, stress, fears, worry, depression, that's where all of that stuff comes from, is from the past, even yesterday past, or even this morning past, or the future, even 5 minutes from now, or a day from now, or a week from now, or a month from now, or a year from now. The thinking is always in the past and in the future. And as long as we're living there, and as long as we're identified with that, we'll never be free from it. So the practice of being of soundness of mind, of being brought into the I'm having trouble hearing you. Sorry about that. Of being brought into the current moment is where we need to go. And that's true soundness of mind. Yeah, no alcoholic, drug addict, addicted to thinking, soberly analyzing his destructive behavior, whether the destruction fell on the dining room furniture or his own moral fiber, can claim soundness of mind for himself. Cannot. Therefore, step 2 is the rallying point for all of us. Whether agnostic, atheist, or former believer, we can stand together on this step. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith. And every member or everybody here is an assurance that God will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to Him. So we really do need to rely upon, reach out, talk to people. Stop the drinking and using if that's what you're doing, because that'll create a barrier. And start recognizing, as we already did in step 1, the unmanageability of our thinking and our behaviors, externally of the world, and also internally that goes on with us. Yeah, the internal things of stress and anxiety and worry and fear, those internal things, starting to recognize and become aware of that, and how that's creating unmanageability in my life. And coming to this place of believing that there is a power greater than myself that can help relieve or decrease or minimize the pain and suffering that I've created for myself. Because people, places, and things we use as the justification and excuses for why I am suffering. And it has nothing to do with people, places, and things. It has everything to do with me and what I am not doing. And so a 12-step program, or a 12-step program like this, gives us the tools and a guide, and they even number it for us. They number it from 1 to 12. They're like, you don't even really have to really do anything. Just follow it. Here's step 1. Here's step 2. Here's step 3. And the hope is that as you continue on this journey, on this spiritual journey, that you learn how to incorporate the principles that they're teaching us in here, in the 12 steps or in the 12 traditions, and that we can learn how to integrate and make that a way of living. And we can make these resources that we have in our lives, that are right in front of us, once we put the walls down, and to be able to learn and to be open and be teachable, um, then and only then will I be able to see the fruits of this higher power or this new way of living that's available to me at any time. All I gotta do is surrender, you know, and to raise the bottom, raise your bottom. The hitting of the bottom or reaching a bottom doesn't have to include external consequences or situations. The raising of the bottom can be simply just the anxiety that I feel over a situation. Could be just some of the stress that enough could be a bottom enough for anybody. And just go, I just don't enjoy that. It doesn't feel right. I need to reach out for help. I need to get back into the present. Just simple things like that. If we can get to that place, we've come a very long way, you know? So, this is the conclusion of step 2 in coming to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. And as it says here, true humility and an open mind can lead us to faith. And every meeting or resource or anything that we have in our toolbox is an assurance that God, your God of your understanding, will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to Him. And the only place that we can relate ourselves to Him is when we're out of self. No self, no problem. No thinking, no problem. If we can stay in the present moment and work on this soundness of mind, you'll be amazed by the freedom and the true peace and love that comes from that place of being in the moment. So thank you guys again for being here. Continue following us. Share this information to anybody that you want. It's a resource and a tool that's available on YouTube and on any of our social media platforms. And again, I'm grateful and thankful that that I'm blessed to be able to share my experience, strength, and hope with you as we complete step 2. Mahalo.